Guy opens the door for two women. They don't say thank you. So he decides to pull a gun on the women who did not tell him thank you for opening the door. Let's put up his picture full mask. He has been arrested. Police arrested this individual. His name is Joshua Murray, 25 years of age, a New Haven, Connecticut resident, after he reportedly drew a gun on Saturday on two women because they did not thank him for opening the door. He's been charged with carrying a pistol without a permit, which is a felony in Connecticut. Additionally, he has a misdemeanor charge of interfering with an officer and 2 counts of a second-degree breach of peace. When he was located by police, Murray was in possession of the gun, and according to the police, interfered with officers during his arrest. He is being held on a $25,000 bond. The police were called to the Family Dollar store around 3:15 p.m. on Saturday. A witness reported that Murray pointed a gun at 2 female customers outside of the store, upset that they did not thank him for holding the door open. All right. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. More details about the incident, including the identities of the victims, have not been released by police yet. Hamden is a town of more than 60,000 people located just north of New Haven. While nobody was injured in 2021, important detail here. Remember, more than 20,000 people died of gun violence in the United States, a significant increase from previous years, according to the Gun Violence Archive, an organization that tracks the country's gun violence. So far this year, more than 10,000 people have already been fatally shot. Now, as a reminder, this country has a fascination with guns. It is a gun culture country. You cannot disconnect the actions of individuals from the culture of the community. The person who pulled out the gun should have been arrested, absolutely. It's ridiculous. If someone does not say thank you for courtesy that you provided, pulling out a gun shows me your heart was never in the right place anyway. It's okay, sometimes people don't say thank you. You know what you can do instead of pulling out a gun on them? Say something like, hey, you're welcome, sarcastically, and walk away. Remind them, it wasn't courteous not to say thank you after I did something courteous for you. That's simple. But to threaten the life of 2 women that you just opened the door for, well, that's just ridiculous and criminal. All right, thoughts on this?
Maybe it's not such a good idea for everyone to conceal carry a gun. I'm thinking of the recent Supreme Court ruling of Pistol Association v. Bruin, right? A 6-3 ruling that overturned this 108-year long law that was in effect for a significant amount of time, over a century in New York. That's now been overturned after a lower court ruled that the law should stay in effect. The Supreme Court decided no, that anyone should be able to conceal carry a gun, regardless of whether or not they're experiencing a significant threat, which is what the law originally put in place, that you have to demonstrate that you have a reason to be defending yourself in public to conceal carry a handgun in public. Now, this is really about people who have power in society versus people who don't, right? Women are oftentimes in vulnerable situations in public. Maybe women want to conceal carry handguns because they find themselves traveling alone a lot or in groups. But having people who are aggressors in situations be allowed to carry handguns in any situation is not a good precedent to set, but that's exactly what happened when the Supreme Court ruled this. Is now we're gonna see a lot of other states create legislation that allows anyone to just go about their business in public with a handgun. And this really demonstrates, what will happen if that is the case in every single state. And it's a very scary precedent.
Very well said, and keep in mind, Justice Thomas, when he decided to write his summary judgment that literally gave guns more rights than women, when he wrote it, he utilized the terminology for self-defense. I have challenged lawyers on this show, constitutional scholars. Show me in the Constitution where your right to bear arms is connected to self-defense. It doesn't exist. This was another ruling with Heller in 2008 that loosely defined the dynamic of militia with individual self-defense rights. It is nowhere contextualized in the US Constitution. However, we're making policy and even have a Supreme Court justice misquoting the actual Constitution.